Hello everyone, this is Magnum Pi. I'm here with Teku, Golgotha, Vahilo, and Dark Templar, and we are Initiative 0. We're so glad you could join us. Thanks for watching the show, or listening to the show. If you like what you hear, please make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell to let us know, put comments down below. We always appreciate knowing that we're doing a good job here. So, yeah, we're playing some Rifts. Yeah, when we had last left, Portland was just riding in on his hover bike, joining the rest of the crew that had just arrived at the farmstead. Portland, you're flying in. Now, you have just been told what the terrible thing that happened at this farm is. The other three are unaware, as far as you know.
Yeah, so I'm going to just tell them that it's a rhino buffalo that we are facing. But not just any rhino buffalo, like the mother of rhino buffaloes, apparently.
That big, eh?
Yeah, it's got hops, too.
Like
mad hops.
It hops?
Hops. Yeah, it's a street ball-like term, like a basketball game term, where they play basketball. And that means that they can jump really high.
I thought it was just mildly malted. Never mind.
Oh, okay, so good job.
No.
That's right. It's a brewmeister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking off, we see the house. I thought, well, we should probably go to the house and maybe I'm assuming the family lives there. Maybe they could tell us what direction we're in. Although we could probably try.
No, we shouldn't do that. The father is nowhere to be seen, apparently. And but the other family they're probably more safe in there than going there. What we need to do is find where this animal is.
I don't expect them to come with us. I just want to make sure we know what direction we're going in. But just at least let them know.
Sorry, can I use my keen hearing to see if I hear anything of rhino buffalo around?
Let's see what your keen hearing does here. Let me just see. Good sight, keen hearing.
It says I can register sounds of 35,000 vibrations per second. Large ears work like internal sound receivers that can prick up and swivel to focus in on the sound of the noise. And then I can also shut off my inner ear to filter the general din of noise to zero in on the sound I want to concentrate on. And it says it's just constant.
Yeah, so you don't gain any extra particular knowledge from that, just because you do have two running hover bikes near you. You could move a little bit of ways to focus, but you're really kind of just looking around. So you can give me a perception check. That's really what this would boil down to, and this allows you to perceive in a range that humans would not be able to.
Can I yell at the other guys to shut off their hover bikes?
You could, but it wouldn't really matter.
Oh man.
Yeah. So there doesn't seem to be
nothing.
Well, yeah, and nothing that you would consider to be rhino buffalo-ish. So.
Okay.
All right.
The reason I'm going to suggest why we don't go to the house is we don't want to attract any attention to the house, because the rhino buffaloes are quite large and we don't want to destroy the house.
Okay.
Well, that's a fair point. I understand that.
So just before we start with a lot of speculation on rhino buffaloes, you guys, if you have lore demon monster, it's considered a monster.
Ooh.
So you could.
That was what I was about to ask.
Yeah, you could use that.
Oh, I'm going to do that then.
All right. So if you guys just give a demon and monster lore skill check, I can give you the general knowledge about that. So 31.
There you go.
There you go.
I got it.
So a rhino buffalo, powerful, fearsome monster that is from some alien world. It's not native to Earth. And it is thought to have come in Western North America, but has since spread across the continent. And it typically preys on dinosaurs and other large mammals like buffalo, bear, deer, horses, and livestock. And it's known that if it is sick or old or injured, to attack humanoid travelers or raid urban communities and the like. But this is most likely normal behavior, what's going on, because it raided a ranch kind of out in the middle of nowhere that probably had livestock. It is they're known to attack whenever they feel threatened or cornered, even charging adventurers traveling in giant robot vehicles, not realizing that they're robots, thinking that there's some giant creature. Furthermore, the animal tends to become frenzied when locked in combat and frequently fights to the death.
How fast are they?
They are quite fast. They are, they can move in excess. Their max speed is in excess of 80 miles an hour, and they can keep that up for quite a while.
Their speed is 80 miles per hour. Oh, okay, never mind. That ruins an idea I had.
Yeah, they have very large, thick, tough hide, leathery hide like a rhino, a shaggy mane of fur on its arched shoulders like a buffalo. The resemblance ends there. The creatures range in height from 18 to 25 feet high, tall, and 30 to 40 feet long. And they often hunt as a lone creature unless they are mated, which they do for life. And they will travel in a small family group of 4, up to 4 if they have any offspring. So when those offspring grow, they will go off on their own.
Well, I think we have to determine if there's more than one.
I might look at Luke and ask, do you know anything about their mental capacities?
Well, they're not intelligent. They're animals.
They have a medium to low animal intelligence, but they have a certain amount of cunning and tremendous ferocity. But they aren't particularly mental giants of any sort. Well, also, I would like to remind you guys that it is nighttime right now. Right, it is dark.
Yeah. So I will kill the lights on my hover bike because stealth is probably a good idea. But that makes it dark outside. If only I had something to do about that. Like, I don't know, night vision, which I do. So I probably should.
Cool. What's the duration on that?
That's a great question that I can answer when I finish scrolling. I really wish my scroll wheel worked better. Okay. No. 10 minutes per level. So for ISP, I'll get first 10 minutes out of it. And while I'm doing that, can I look over at Portland? And
sure.
Say you're a wizard of some kind, right?
A wizard, yes.
A ley line, something.
Walker.
That'd be it. What can you... I don't know anything about magic. What can you do?
Okay. What do you mean, what can I do?
I mean, if you were to try and deal with this kind of a threat, how would you do it? Because I mean...
subdue it so that it couldn't move and therefore not be a threat.
See, I like that answer. Because if you can do that, I think you and I might be able to just shut this thing down and have it not come to blows at all.
Want to be friends?
Did we just become best friends?
I think we just became best friends.
Start gesturing to the field and look at all the room for activities. Just yeah.
I didn't say best friends. Well, calm down there. I said friends. Okay, don't have to get all jealous there.
No, I'm going to do that though. I will not be outdone. I'm cocky and self. No. I'm cocky and self-reliant. I will be everyone's best friend.
So while they're all talking, can I think in the last game I only put on about half of my armor. Can I put on the rest of it?
I think they let you put it all on. I think you got it all on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we need to do one of two things. We need to talk to them in there, see if there's more than one, or we have to find out so we could track them. I mean, it's going to leave a mark, so it's not going to be hard to track.
Yes.
I can be perhaps helpful with that as well. Is there any visible damage from this thing?
Yes.
Yeah, as I said, the field is torn up. The barn is knocked down. The only thing left standing is the homestead house that has a light in the window, a lamp in the window burning.
So I've got object read, which I feel like could be really helpful in, I don't know, reading objects.
Yeah. What objects would you like to read?
I mean, preferably something that was destroyed or interacted with by this thing. Like, I don't know, that barn.
You could do that. You would have to cross. You would have to cross in front of the house to get to the remnants of the barn. Yeah.
I would just note one thing. I mean, they're going to notice movement around. That might scare them more than anything. So, if that's the case, I mean, if you want to do that, you guys want to start doing that, that's fine. I'll very quietly talk to them, let them know what we're doing, so that they don't start shooting at us. Because I mean, they just hear some. They've already had some sort of creature, rhino buffalo in their fields. They might be really skittish and hearing noise. They might start taking fire at it. So,
well, they also probably just heard some hover bikes show up, and I don't know how often buffalo rhino ride hover bikes.
Yeah, they probably heard you.
This is something I can handle. If you guys want to get started with that, I could talk to the family.
Oh, okay.
Why don't we just run in and get the family out at that point then?
Well, they're safer inside right now, I think.
Yeah, but if it's going to take 5 minutes to track these buffalo, do you not think we could get them out in 5 minutes?
But it's not about getting them out. We don't want to get them out. We want them to let them know that we're here and that we're going to try to find this and deal with the problem.
I also want to give you guys the time frame here. Don't forget, it took 2 days for the boy to make it to where you were. So you got here quite quick because you had vehicles, but he didn't. So the incident occurred days ago. It's not like it's not like it just happened.
Yeah.
Given that ISP recharges, how much ISP might I have recharged on the trip back here?
About 2 hours? No, not 2 hours.
No, not even. Your vehicles move so quickly. If we just go to abilities real quick for you, your ISP is 2 ISP per hour of activity. You were probably traveling. You were on hover bikes going 50 miles.
I don't think we were going terrifically fast, but I think 50 might have actually been what we were shooting at. Shooting for.
Yeah, because I think you guys were trying to keep your eyes open for things along the way.
Yeah.
And I think it would be slower than 50 miles an hour. 50 miles an hour is rather fast, right?
Oh, that's still pretty quick. Oh, sorry. What did we say? 50 kilometers an hour, not miles.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what you were aiming for. It would have taken you about 2 hours to get here. We'll say if you were going slow enough to try to keep your eye on things in the dark. So you'll have 4 ISP back, you and Lex.
Okay.
Do you think we can track these buffalo after 2 days, potentially, of them not being here?
I don't know. I don't know what your capacities are. I might be able to get us a line on where they are.
Well, I'll tell you this. The rhino buffalo is a house-sized creature. So there are woods around, and if it bashed its way through the woods, there would be a rather large path. So it might be easier to see that path in the daytime. However, Senate does have night vision, so he can see pretty clearly. I don't know what kind of equipment you guys have with regard to infrared binoculars or goggles or things like that, but you may have those things. But who's going to the house, just so I understand?
Yeah, I'm going to the house, and I guess Portland's coming with me.
Okay. Anybody else?
I was going to head over to the barn.
Okay.
To try and get a line on the current whereabouts.
And Lex, what's he doing?
I'm just looking if my infrared distancing binoculars work in the evening.
They do. Nighttime. Yeah, that's the whole point of the infrared, is so that you can see in the dark. Does it have a range listed?
2 miles.
Yeah. So you'll be good for a decent distance there. You can survey the grounds and look for a general direction that the creature went to. So Senate, you are traveling over. Lex, let's see what you've got skill wise here. Real quick, to see what.
I want to I want to put on those infrared goggles. And then I just want to scan the tree line and see if there would be an exit spot for these rhino buffalo.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So you're looking around there. Essentially, give me a a basic land navigation check there. It's one of your OCC skills.
Yep.
All right. So that will let you can tell by the general carnage and kind of the way things have fallen with regard to the foliage and the general direction you would have to go. But it's not necessarily giving you tracking information. You don't know if that's the way that it came in or the way that it left. But you definitely have a line on the direction of travel you would need to go.
Okay. So I want to turn to Senate.
You turn and Senate has already. You see he's marching off toward the barn, so you can catch up with him. But
sorry, I'd probably be prowling off because
I just want to go in that direction then and just go along the tree line.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to try to give you a bit of a layout here. You guys have driven up a small roadway, like pathway really, that kind of branched off the main trail. So a small trail that kind of dumps out at the farmstead. The farmstead is a tract of flat land, basically on a floodplain of the nearby river. Where you guys dump out is coming out of the woods. The woods extend off to the right, and you can follow the tree line off far. I would say the right would lead you kind of north east-ish. You can follow the tree line around there. The trees do wrap around, go for quite a distance before kind of bending and following the river. So you can follow the tree line there. There is definitely a break in the trees where something large went into the bush. But you can move in that direction by yourself if you like, or you can...
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Everybody left without me, so I'm going to go do my own thing.
Cool. Senate, give me a prowl check. You said you wanted to be prowling. Actually, you don't need to do that, but it's okay. We'll just keep the roll. 73. So if you needed to hide, then you have not done so successfully.
I think I'm doing a good job, and that's what's important.
That's right. Cool. All right. Portland and Sir Luke, you guys walk up to the homestead house.
Okay. I'll lightly knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the door, and the door opens. You can hear things being pulled away from the door, and the door opens gently there, very softly and quietly, slowly. Light leaks out from the crack as it opens up, and a rather frail-looking woman wearing pretty average peasant sort of clothing looks up at you and says, "Are you a cyberknight, sir?"
I am. Are you okay?
No, I'm a rhino buffalo and gores you in the face.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Land shark.
She says, and she kind of looks down. She's like, "My husband, he didn't last the attack. We were attacked by a rhino buffalo a couple of days ago. Did you happen to see my son, 13-year-old?"
Yeah, he made it to a tavern.
I revived him. He's fine.
"Oh, thank God," she says, and she kind of puts her hand to her chest and kind of staggers back. And please come in.
So we'll go in.
Okay, and it's actually a fairly nice, rather large farmhouse that's been built here. She's not alone. There are 3 younger children. There's 2 girls and a boy. Boy's probably about maybe 8, and a girl around possibly 10 or 11, and a younger girl possibly 5 or 6. They're all in the house. There's a large table with candles on it. They've been, you can see they've been keeping it rather clean still. But despite the hour, none of them are asleep yet. And there's an oil lamp in the window that faces the roadway that you guys came in. And she ushers you in and then closes the door behind you. The older girl and her move it's like a piece of furniture, kind of like a cabinet or something like that, in front of the door to prevent it from being opened.
Okay. I'll say 2 of our friends are outside. They're looking around and checking to see if we can find any more information. Could you tell us about the attack and what direction the beast went in?
She says it came out of the woods, and she just kind of motions toward the main door that you guys came in. So just in that direction. It just started eating the cattle. Half a cow at a time. It would just bite them in half and swallow. I don't know if it even chewed. Monstrous, bigger than the house. It would dig at them with the horn. It tore open the barn to get at the animals inside the barn. And my husband went out to try to distract it so that we could run out to the cellar, get into the root cellar. But unfortunately, he was chased down by the creature as well. The gunshots seemed to have attracted its attention more than anything. He just shot into the air. He didn't even target the creature, but it crushed him, and then it ate its fill, and then walked back off in the direction that it came.
How long ago was that?
About 2 days ago. I sent our oldest to go get medical help for him, but he died shortly after our eldest left to get help. He had been that way before with him to get things fixed by the operators in town.
Are there any other farms in the area?
Yes, she says, up and down the river here. The neighbors have come to help clean things up as best they could, and to there's if you in the morning you can see they tried to set up a bit of a blockade, but I don't know if it will actually do much good. The creature just tore the barn apart like it was nothing, so I don't know how a bunch of angled wood is going to do much.
Oh, you're right, it probably won't. I think we're going to have to deal with this. Once it's found a place where it thinks it has easy food, it's probably going to try to come back. And I'm not saying that to make you afraid. Just, we'll do what we can to get rid of it.
Yeah. You also made a successful demon and monster lore check. You know that it's probably now had the taste of human blood, given the farmer that was a rancher that was killed there. It can certainly track blood by scent. So yeah, it will. It could very likely come back.
Portman, do you have anything to add?
No. But I don't think this barricade is going to do very much for you. You might as well just live your regular lives. If that thing wants to come back and kill you, it will.
Subtle.
Also, your boy's fine. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, she says.
Yeah.
Are you hungry? Would you like something to eat?
I'm
sure.
fine.
You got.
And she says, I've got some stew. And she goes into a pot that's kept over a small fire and ladles some out into a bowl for you, and hands you a wood bowl, and sets it down on the table there, a wood bowl and a wood spoon.
Come join me, Sir Luke. It's good to accept someone's hospitality.
It is indeed. I do think that I'm going to go out to see what the others are up to and see if they've been able to track the direction. So I'll be back, though. So I go out and head out to the barn.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a look beforehand, though.
Why?
Like a winking look.
And I'm just going to look at him like kind of curious, like, all right, just going to walk out and help them out.
And Sir Luke, you easily, one-handedly push the heavy piece of furniture that they put in front of the door aside and open up the door and head out. We'll go to Senate. You are making your way across the grounds over to the remnants of the barn, and you said you wanted to object read or something like that.
Yep.
Okay. Let me just.
So.
Yeah. So the range is touch, and
Yep.
you need to first essentially hold what you're trying to get a read off of in your hands, or put your hands on it and concentrate on a specific line of thought, opening up to general impressions. And you kind of open yourself to the object in that way. If successful, you receive those sort of general impressions, and that's the first thing that you'll have to roll on is your general impression roll.
I'm sorry, I wasn't shooting for impression. I was thinking more either images, because then I could see the attack and kind of confirm what is being suggested to have happened actually happened.
Yeah.
Or what's that third one? I think it's
their present location.
Yeah,
so,
that seems much better.
Yeah, so you first start by receiving impressions, and then you move on to more. Yeah, it's kind of an escalating thing. So so you take off your ISP, and you can give us that first roll for some impressions.
So it's 6. Puts us to that, and go back to psionics. Oh no, it's under skills, not psionics.
All right. So, this is obviously not a very personal object. So the impressions that you get off of it are generally that the owner that interacted with it and used it was generally good person. It was, there wasn't a lot of evil associated with this at all or anything like that. The general emotional state, you don't really get a feel for the emotional state of the owner of this very much. The general purpose of this, of course, was that it was a barn. So you're just putting your hands on the wood of the barn. You don't get a whole lot from that, but you can.
It's kind of what it says on the tin.
Yeah, you can continue to concentrate and see if you can go deeper and draw images.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go deeper.
Yeah, and so there's very little emotional impression on the barn material. You got just the vaguest of impressions of just happiness of having the barn and a place to kind of gives a sense of security and propriety for a farmer, a rancher, to have a place to store things. So it's not a very personal, special object. So it's hard to get anything beyond that. And that took you. We'll figure out exactly how long that took. And there you go. So you spend 10 minutes trying to get impressions off of this thing as best you can. So during that time, Lex, you will have made your way following the tree line around to the break in the trees there. And what you will have seen through your binoculars, and it becomes more apparent as you get closer, is that it looks as though bits of wood or not bits, but larger pieces of wood have been taken probably from the rubble of the barn, and a sort of palisade has almost been built up at the break in the trees, where something large definitely went back into the bush.
So it's basically looking like that this was a way out.
A way out or a way in, but regardless, they've tried to block the path that something took in or out by essentially building a wall of wood.
Oh, this was the people doing it. Sorry, I thought it was like the rhino buffalo hit the barn, and then kind of the debris of the barn just kind
No,
of was
no, no,
dropped.
no. Something,
Okay.
yeah, larger pieces of wood were taken, and a palisade has been built up here across the across where the obvious impression of something large moving into the bush has that area has had this sort of wall of wood built. Right, it's large pieces of wood standing on end, right, tied together, dug into the ground, sort of thing, to prevent easy access.
Right. Can I kind of examine the ground and see if I see footprints going in or out?
You can. That would be normally it's a tracking roll to see if you can determine things. But I can give you let you do a perception check. But you've already rolled a perception check back there. But I'll let you re-roll a new one just to see if you notice large footprints. You're looking for a rhino buffalo,
Okay.
so should be with a 1. I'm going to say you don't know if what you're finding in the dark here is large footprints or just the lay of the land with kind of low spots and the like. It's hard for you to tell. It's been a few days. If it's rained, it would be difficult. You don't know, but nothing conclusive.
Okay. I'm gonna make my way to the house.
Okay. As you head back in that direction, you notice a very large figure coming your way. The silhouette of Sir Luke with the light from the window of the house shining behind him, and you meet him up on your way.
Hey, I just talked to the family. The father's dead. Unfortunately, he was crushed. Whatever that. Well, that thing has a taste for human blood now, so it's going to be especially dangerous.
Well, did they say where it went, where it came from? Like
Yes.
there's a break in the trees back there, but I can't tell if that's where the buffalo came in and if they're
Yeah.
still lurking around or if that's where they left.
Well, it left 2 days ago, so it's been gone for 2 days. But it's found a place where it could get food easily, at least. So it would probably come back. So that's the direction it went in, and the direction it came from. So, to be fair, at least it's not going to be hard to track.
Well, I think we just need to get the family out of here. Like if it's gonna come back, if it comes back tomorrow or if it comes back even in an hour, that's an hour that we have and we can be halfway back to that city,
What do you
to
mean,
that
sir?
town. Well, I think we just get the family out of here. Like I don't know you know, why the solution to keeping this family safe is to kill these rhino buffalo. I think we can just get the family out of here.
Well, to be fair, even if that were a solution, there are other farms in the area. We can't evacuate every single farm. This is their livelihood.
Well, for this family, it's already gone.
Well,
But if the
no,
rhino buffalo come back, we can't do anything, and they still destroy the house and kill this family.
but it's not gone. They still have things here. I mean, we could deal with this animal. It's not. Well, I'm not going to say it's not going to be hard, but I mean that's what has to be done. I mean, it's not just this family. It's got a taste for blood. It's going to be dangerous to all the people in the area.
Is the family like? Would they be ready to move? Like if we get them out of here, you can always come back and hunt for this rhino buffalo. But what happens if it comes back and in the while we're fighting it, it takes out the house or something like that.
Well, I mean, the idea is that we don't fight it
here
here. We don't fight it here. We track it and fight it where it is. It's at this point, it's going to be further away. It's already fed, so it's going to be further away from buildings. But it would come back to feed. So either here or one of the other farms along the river. Again, sad reality is that the best way to deal with this is to kill the animal. And if you wish to talk to them and see if they want to leave, I mean, certainly. I mean, I'll certainly do what they wish, but I don't get the impression that they want to leave. This is their home. This is their home, and they just buried their husband and father. They're not going to want to leave that land. If you want to talk to them and that's what they want, I will definitely assist them in that. But I think the best thing to do is, track that creature down and eliminate it. Not just for them, not just for this family, but for everybody in the region. I mean, this thing's dangerous.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking we got to get this family out of here even if it's just for a day or 2 days.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you talk to them and that's what they want, I will definitely help with that. I'm just going to go talk to Senate to see what he's seeing, if he's found any information about the way we could track the animal.
Okay, I'm going to keep walking to the house then.
All right, and Sir Luke, you will find Senate. He seems to be in a bit of a trance as he's cradling a piece of the barn.
Okay, I will not distract him while he's concentrating.
Okay. Do you want to wait there for him, or?
Yeah, I'll wait for a little bit.
Okay, cool. We'll come back to you guys then. Portland, you're eating when there's a knock at the door.
I'm not eating. I just want the stew.
So you're just sitting there with a bowl of stew?
Yeah, I just want to have a conversation. I don't actually want to eat the stew.
Okay, so yep. So
I'll thrill with it, like I am eating it, but I'm actually not going to eat it.
Okay. The woman's just kind of continuing to busy herself with the children and the like, trying to get them settled into bed. It's a very simple setup they have. There are separate bedrooms. It's not just one room, but the children all share a bedroom, and so she kind of keeps looking back over her shoulder at you as you eat. Everything okay? Or you don't eat, I guess.
Yeah. Everything's fine. Just curious. Where did you end up burying your husband?
And she kind of looks down a little bit, just behind the house. That's where we buried his mother as well, who had been living with us. She died a couple of years ago.
I was wondering, why did you guys decide to stay here and not leave after everything's been torn up here?
I have nowhere else to go. The neighbors are... Well, we haven't decided what we're going to do, but the neighbors came the next day to try to help secure the farmstead. We can breed.
They came the next day?
Well, later that day, they came back. They came the first day, she says, and then they came back when it was light to try to build some sort of barrier to prevent anything from coming back, I suppose. We could grow things here still. The boys will only get older and stronger. The neighbors will give us some cattle to begin breeding again. We can pay them back as time goes on. Everything we have is here.
I understand, but in the immediate, wouldn't it be smarter to go to safer grounds?
Well, we do have the cellar, she says. Where else would we go?
Into town, like your son did.
But where would we go when we get there? And I'll remind you, it wasn't much of a town. It was like about 6 houses, and there was a trading post and a kind of lodge and this repair shop. Like, it wasn't a full-fledged town with organized government or anything like that, or defenses.
Right. But I feel like anywhere would be better than here.
I don't know. We've been living here for years, and this is the first real incident of something like that. Do you think it would be better for us to leave right away?
I think so, just for the immediate time being.
But
people are pretty kind. I
Who?
feel like someone would put you up for at least a couple of days or maybe a couple of weeks before returning back. Things are... If this happened just recently, then the animal could still be around. You're putting you and your family in grave danger. If you thought that door and what you put in front of it was going to save you. What if that buffalo came charging through anyways? You'd all be dead. You wouldn't have time to go into the cellar.
But why would it want to attack us now? We have no more livestock.
Because it has a taste for blood.
Oh, well, I suppose I can begin packing things up.
Just a suggestion. I'm not saying you have to do it, and you can do what you want. It is your land. But at the same time, you don't want, if this thing comes back, and it could come back, especially if you're getting it more animals or whatnot to help start breeding again, then it's just going to come back. If I was an animal and I was hungry, I would go where I know food would probably happen, right?
She nods. She looks at you, says, "You're a line walker, right?"
Correct.
Don't you have any way that you could help us? I have a few things we could give you as payment. Surely you know how to take care of things like this, or open some portal to God's know where to get rid of it.
I do plan to help you, but I don't want your payment. Like I said, there are always good people around.
Thank you.
They will help those that are in need.
Yeah. At this point, Lex will be knocking at the door. She says, I should open. That's one of your friends.
I'll get that.
Okay. Cool. There is Lex standing there. Yep.
Welcome.
So I'm just going to walk in as Portland opens the door.
Okay.
And I just wanted to, so I'm assuming I see the family there right when I walk in the door.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to them, I just want to say, how soon could all of you be ready to move? Just to safety for, the next day or day and a half.
She says we could go to the farm just down the way. It's about a mile or mile and a half. That's the closest place we could go.
Have any other farms been attacked?
None.
Just yours.
Ours is the furthest along the river, the furthest out.
You haven't had any other sightings or
There's always
any noise that...
There's always creatures. We keep ourselves armed, and we have means of dealing with them. This monster is the first time we've seen one of them. We've heard of rhino buffalo, but we've never seen one before. We didn't realize, and she just kind of gets real quiet and almost looking up at the ceiling. I didn't realize how big it really was. We've heard tales, but until you see one, it's a terrible thing.
That's why I think it should be time to maybe find a safer place until these buffalo are eliminated. And Sir Luke seems to think that he can do that. I think it might be good to go to a safer place.
Is there more than one? She says.
I don't know. What did you see?
Just one.
Okay, well, if it comes back, you saw what it did to your barn. If you're in this house, I have to say it won't stand much of a chance.
I understand. I'll would it be wise to wait till morning?
I think every minute that we're sitting here and not moving is another minute that it could be coming closer to feed again, to charge through the house, to cause more damage.
And she looks up from looking down at you and over to Portland, and she says, your magic dog is very wise. I'll pack things up now. I'll get the children ready. And she's kind of shaky, and she goes into the bedroom and, children, wake up. We have to go. Right? And she starts to rustle them up.
I'll be outside.
All right.
Thank you for this, too.
Well, I want to follow. I want to follow Portland outside and just stand on. I'm assuming there's like a deck or something of the house.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
What do I make of what? I said what I think in there.
No, I mean the situation overall, not necessarily just the safety of the children.
Well, I don't think that they'd be safe at the neighbor's farm, but I can walk with them through the forest to that farm, and if you and Luke and Senate want to go hunt that buffalo, then you guys do that.
Fair enough. I understand what you're saying. It just seems very peculiar how this all kind of went about. What do you think?
How so?
Well, it's the first rhino buffalo I've ever seen. It seems to be from the description of the young man back in town. It was rather large, like almost abnormal.
I've never seen a rhino buffalo.
Right.
I've kind of heard people talk about them, but I don't know a whole lot about them at all.
Mm-hmm. But also peculiar that it only attacked this one farm, though it is at the edge, like she said. Why not go to the next one where there is other cattle?
Well, maybe this one was the first. Maybe this was the first on its pathway, or maybe we get to the next farm and we find that that's destroyed too.
Then we'll lead them right into danger, right?
Like I said, I don't think the best solution is going to the next house. I think the best solution would be taking them to our hover bikes and having them take the hover bikes to that little town, those couple of buildings there, and saying come back in 48 hours.
Yeah, I suggested as such too. Okay.
All right.
Well, we'll see what happens there.
You guys
can
go
around the house and check.
They seem to think that I'm pretty wise, so maybe I'll suggest that when they come back out.
That you are.
All right,
I'm gonna go around and check this grave.
Yep, Portland. You go around the house. There's two graves just about probably 50 feet back from the house, closer to the edge of the woods on that side. Small stone wall built up in the area. Basically a family plot, right? A family graveyard for the homestead.
How fresh is the grave?
Pretty fresh. One's not, and there's another one that's rather fresh. All right, we'll jump over to Sir Luke and Senate as you guys talk and kind of poke around the house there. So, Senate, you kind of come back to your senses. There's a rather large cybernite looming over you.
I can't play this like a joke character. Okay, fine. And I will, because I honestly just want to start screaming just to scare him, because I think that'd be, anyway. And I'll regain my composure, drop the piece of wood that I was just gingerly cuddling, and turn and face him while sighing.
You learn anything?
Well, it was a barn. As far as anything specific, no. It doesn't have the emotional resonance that I need.
All right. Well, I spoke to the boy's, I guess, son or wife or mother, I should say. Her husband sadly passed away. He didn't survive the attack. There are 3 other children in there. The other, it was just Portland was in there. Left there when I left, and I think Lex was heading there as well. Lex says they have the opinion they should leave. I don't know where they would go. I mean, if that's what their choice is, I'd certainly help with that. But I think that come morning we should probably track this thing down and eliminate it, because there are other farms in the area. Apparently, there are a number of farms along the river, and if this creature has found food here, it'll look for food there as well. The other danger, of course, is that with the death of the father, her husband, it's tasted blood, so it's got a taste for blood, human blood now, and that makes it even more dangerous.
So, if they're willing to leave even for a short time, that would let us go hunt it without having to worry about it doubling back behind us. At the very least, it's probably worth warning the other homesteads.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're going to leave, but I think Lex was going to talk to them to see if they did want to leave.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know a rhino buffalo from another monstrosity in the wall, but chances are these homesteaders don't know it either, so they may not understand the danger they're in. So at the very least, if you were to talk to them and explain it, and explain some of the behaviors they might expect from this animal if it shows up ripping up their farmsteads, that might help them survive if they choose not to leave.
Yeah, if it does show up, then they better have a cellar of some sort, because their homes will be able to sustain that.
Well, they may not know that is the problem. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure they could infer it, given that the creature's as big as their house, probably. But
yeah. Well, at the very least, I think that come morning, as much as I like to start hunting it today and like right now, I don't think it'd be safe for anybody.
No, it's probably best that we track it with the sun on our side, and then that'll give us enough time to put things in order here, depending on how the survivors feel. If they are willing to go to the outpost, they're probably safer there. If they're willing to go to a neighbor, I don't know that that's much better, but that is their choice. If they want to stay here, I would almost recommend they just stay in the cellar. But
that's what I would say, at least for the time being.
But again,
that might be the safest way. I would hate to take them like if we were to take them anywhere. I mean, I prefer to take them during the day as well. At night, it's who knows what's out at night. We're not just dealing with these creatures. There are other things that haunt the nights as well.
Well, it's also an issue of fuel. The hover bikes only go so far, and we cleaned out the last of the reserves from the outpost.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you take them back to the outpost, you might not have enough fuel to get back.
And so, I'm all for clearing them out, but at that point, are we really in a position to hunt this thing? And I think we're generally in agreement that if it's got a taste for blood, it's got to be addressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So, we'll see the decision they've come to. I mean, I see merits to both sides, but ultimately it's their choice. And I mean, at that point, I guess we just become monster hunters.
Yeah, ultimately, we could do.
Do we get a theme song for all monster hunters? Curious.
Monster Mash. We got the Monster Mash.
How did you not come upon Scooby-Doo? We're just going around the countryside solving mysteries with a talking dog. It writes itself, guys.
Oh my God.
It writes itself.
I know.
I am profoundly disappointed in you guys that I have to be the one to say this.
Well, I was getting there. Okay.
Well,
that's why I said what I just said.
I
was getting there, and you just ridiculed me.
Senate kind of looks a little bit like Shaggy, And
he's high all the time too. Fun fact: Shaggy later on, vegetarian. I think he was vegan actually.
Right.
No, it wasn't.
I saw some of those sandwiches he ate. There were a lot of lunch meat in there.
There was an issue with the voice actor who was I think he was a vegan, and they wanted him to do a Burger King ad, and he refused. So they fired him. They brought him back later under the term that Shaggy was vegan.
Okay.
He's a vegan. Who's Shaggy that?
Canonically, Shaggy vegan. There you go.
Cool. So Sir Luke and Senate, you guys kind of look back toward the house, and you can see two figures standing on the porch that are kind of interrupting the the light shining out of the window. One of them leaves and goes walking around the side of the house.
I'm going to say to Sen, I go, well, we could do, what we could do is maybe we have 2 people take them back to the outpost, and 2 of us stay to hunt the beast.
I don't know if you saw that barn, and I know that people have probably told you all your life that you are built like a barn.
Yes,
but even if that wasn't just like that's playful.
But I look at Sen
language,
and I kind of smile. I go, I realize that this creature is massive. I realize the danger, but it has to be eliminated.
I know it's gonna take me like 2 steps to do it, but I am going to lean around you just so that you're standing in front of the still exploded barn and go, do you know that though? Because it's still, like, I appreciate your valor, but I think instead of valor, probably a plan. And a good plan usually starts with a consolidation of force against a stated threat. So I don't know that splitting up is the way to do this.
It probably isn't the best of all worlds, but I mean, if it's a matter of we don't have enough fuel to get back and it takes us days to get back, who knows how many other farms could ravage?
This is true.
All right. So this is probably something you'll want to chat about with Portland and Lex. Your characters make your way back to the house. We'll call this session for now. So thank you to those who have joined and have been listening in. So I hope you've enjoyed it so far. If you liked it, hit the like button, give us a subscribe, put some comments down below. Join us on our Discord. I'm Magnipi. I'm here with Teku, Golgotha, Vahilo, and Dark Templar. And we are Initiative Zero.